So it's been about a week now since I competed in my first large RC indoor carpet oval race type of thing. And it was a great time, but I've got some thoughts about it and some comparisons to like the drag races that I've been to in the drag race community. Pretty interesting thoughts that I've been thinking about. Let's talk about it now. I'm Chad. This is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. And let's talk about some RC racing today. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So glad you are here with me today. Big shout out to all my local boys that were with me up at this race, and of course that I race with every week. Got a lot of fast guys, especially in this 17.5 street stock class, which is just a B63, 6.2 buggy, B5, whatever, with foam tires and a body and all that kind of stuff. So how did I do? If you didn't watch the last video, you can see that I finished second place. Yes, vice champion. I'm the man. I know, but buddy, I will be hanging on to this forever because it was crazy, hard fought, and hard earned. So the first thing I want to talk about is just the RC community, like this kind of community versus like a drag race community. So there's some very big misconceptions that I was thinking going into it, and then I was kind of slapped in the face with reality. So when I would attend different drag races, and a lot of you drag racers can understand this as well, like we are all pretty much approachable. I've never went up to anybody, no matter how big their name is, Frank, Lindsay, Dustin, anybody that I've met like personally up at Mommy, Jeff, Zuccarell, just to name a few. Not many of my R1 buddies were ever up there at all, but I've never really had anybody not offer to like help me or teach me something. It's kind of crazy. Everybody's always been warm and inviting, everything else. And the fact is, there's so much money on the line. Like, I think everybody knows that, like, there's that one secret that they're always going to keep, that they're not going to tell you because they could help you win and they would maybe lose. But in this kind of like old school RC type of community at these races, people do not want to come off of anything. So me and my local boys were all talking to each other and stuff like that, which was great. We were all rooting for each other and cheering for each other. And, I think we were all kind of sharing information pretty well. But I know that in some of the other like national, more popular type of classes that people go and travel with, all the pan car slot stuff, the tour type of stuff, things that like I didn't even know existed until this week. Got a friend of mine, you guys know him, OG Bo, runs truck, didn't have a good performance, runs all the time. And he went to like a couple individuals and, they really didn't come off of nothing. And I think it kind of sucks that like there's no money involved here in this class. And people don't want to like spread secrets. So they're just racing for like pride, joy, or maybe a 50% or a 75% discount or something off of like their products, possibly. I don't know. But you know me, I think it's like all of our job to like keep people interested in RC. If I went up to one of these guys and said, hey, I want to build one of these, can you tell me what I need to do? I think I heard the one guy that I talked to basically said, oh, just buy this kit. And I said, really? That's it? Just buy the kit? Yep, just buy the kit. So, that's kind of crappy. That was a big eye opener. So the other thing that was pretty crazy is just being there super long. Even though it was indoors, even though there was air conditioning, it's still a long freaking day, just like at a drag race. Of course, it was great being inside, not having to be like rained on or anything else. But it's 12, 13 hours of practicing, tuning, all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot that goes into it. You don't eat well. If you stay in a hotel, you're not sleeping well. Or if you drove home like I did, because it was less than an hour away, you still don't get a lot of sleep because of the hype and everything else like that. So, you really got to like focus and like try to take care of yourself at these events, especially like if you are outdoors at like drag racing events. You need to do the important things like stay hydrated, eat well, all that kind of stuff. Of course, have fun, do what you want to do and do what you need to do, but always be mindful and checking out the person that's next to you and make sure that they are doing okay. And that goes along with the next thing, which is kind of like the emotions. Like, you're so up and down as far as the way things go. Like, I didn't even really want to go and stay for the main because it was going to be like another 3.5 hours because there were so many classes in between. And I knew I had like a 5th or a 6th place car. But then finally I went and got some coffee and kind of like got my brain back in out of a fog. And I'm like, hey, things can happen and you never know what's going to happen. Made a couple changes to the car, more importantly, a gear change. And, you know, I was able to drive the car, get lucky. And that's just kind of how things went. So never kind of let yourself sink to the level that you're just, you know, not in it at all. Same thing with drag racing, of course, as well. You never know when you're going to go up there and the timing is going to be right and you're going to pull off a freaking hero hit or a hero run or whatever. Or in my case, I'm going to call that a hero pack of the 4 minutes that I ran. The race was at the Norcar facility. I think it's called W&T Hobbies now. It's kind of up halfway to like between Columbus and Cleveland, Ohio. You could see there was quite a few entries. I expected there to be more. It was kind of sad that our class only had 8 people. 6 of us raced together semi-regularly. 4 of us definitely do. So, you know, the biggest class was basically the 6.0 breakout class, which is a great idea, kind of like what we do with drag racing. So you get a 6-second lap time. If you go faster, you break out, the lap doesn't count, and you try to get as many laps over 6 seconds and as close to 6 seconds as you can. And I mean, some people had their cars freaking dialed. That is for sure. Like 601, 602, just like right on it, man. It was pretty cool. So there was definitely more to do. I had my Tamiya TT02. Probably would have been nice just to run a second class to break up the monotony. So that way I would have, you know, just kind of got more stick time in and be refreshed and not just kind of like sitting in a chair and wandering around and like sucking back Diet Mountain Dews and chain smoking and everything else that happened the entire weekend while we just waited for that time to come up to like race. And since this is kind of like one of those bastard classes of oval, you know, we were all the way at the end. We were like heat 22, heat 23, which was great because, like, you know, it really didn't matter. There were so many. You could always go and leave and get food and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, pretty long day. But that's just kind of like my race recap of everything, guys. Like, it was very interesting, as I said before, to see how there was no money on the line, but people weren't willing to like promote the hobby and help people out who may wanted to get into things or that were struggling to keep them in. And, you know, they were going to beat them anyway. So it's like, give people a break and help people out. That's my, you know, going out advice to like all of you guys. If you see somebody struggling, young, old, whatever, again, you know, try to see if you can always help each other out. I know that that's just what I will always keep on doing here at the channel, at the local club level and stuff. When we start getting new people coming in, you know, that's the plan. We want to keep and get as many people into our RC toy cars as possible. So big shout out to all my buddies again locally. Love all you guys. Thanks again for supporting the channel, everybody, and peace.